The root of emotional turmoil often lies in giving others power over how we feel. When someone says or does something hurtful, it's tempting to let anger, sadness, or frustration flood our minds. But Stoicism teaches us a revolutionary idea. Our emotions are within our control, not the actions or words of others. Imagine your mind as a fortress. Outside influences may knock on the gates, but it's you who decides whether to open the door or let the storm rage outside. The Stoics believed that external events themselves don't disturb us. It is our judgment about these events that causes emotional distress. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it, and it is in your power to wipe out that judgment now." This is the core of emotional sovereignty. When you let others control your mood, you surrender your power. You become a puppet reacting to their strings. But true inner peace comes when you recognize that your feelings are your responsibility alone. This doesn't mean ignoring injustice or wrongdoing. Rather, it means cultivating a mindset that responds with calm rationality instead of impulsive reactivity. You acknowledge what happened, but you do not allow it to shake your tranquility. The key is training your mind to separate what you can control from what you cannot. Other people's actions belong to the uncontrollable sphere. Your thoughts and responses belong to the controllable sphere. This shift in perspective frees you. It arms you with a shield against emotional manipulation. When you realize that no one can force you to feel a certain way, you regain control over your inner world. The way you perceive events directly shapes your emotional state. Two people can experience the same insult. One reacts with rage, the other with indifference. Why? Because their judgments differ. Stoicism offers practical tools to reframe negative interactions and reduce their emotional impact. One technique is called the view from above. Imagine seeing the conflict from a higher perspective, detached from immediate emotion. Ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years, 5 months, even 5 days? Most insults or offenses lose their power when viewed in the grand scheme of life. This mindset diminishes their weight and urgency. Another powerful Stoic technique is to consider the nature of the person who hurt you. Often, insults come from ignorance, fear, or pain. Recognizing this can invoke compassion instead of anger. You understand that their behavior reflects their own struggles, not your worth. Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." You have the choice to see negative behavior as an opportunity for growth rather than a personal attack. This reframing builds resilience. Instead of being emotionally hijacked, you see conflict as a challenge to practice patience, self-control, and forgiveness. You can even turn negative interactions into lessons in empathy and humility. When someone insults you, you practice the Stoic art of apatheia, not indifference, but freedom from destructive passions. By changing your perception, you stop giving power to those who seek to unsettle you. You reclaim your peace by mastering how you interpret the world. Emotional resilience is not an innate trait. It's a skill cultivated through consistent practice. Stoicism offers daily exercises that help you build a mind that remains unshaken by others' words or actions. One of the most powerful daily practices is the morning reflection. Before starting your day, remind yourself of the challenges you might face. Visualize difficult people and situations and mentally prepare to respond with calmness, instead of anger. Marcus Aurelius advised, begin each day by telling yourself, today I shall meet with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness. By anticipating obstacles, you are no longer caught off guard when they appear. This premeditation reduces emotional reactivity because you're rehearsing your response in advance. When insult or provocation arrives, your mind is already trained to stay steady and measured. Another effective exercise is journaling. Writing down your emotional responses at the end of the day helps identify patterns of reaction. Ask yourself, what triggered me? Was my reaction proportionate? How could I choose a better response tomorrow? Through journaling, you practice awareness, an essential step toward emotional mastery. Awareness allows you to pause and choose rather than react impulsively. Additionally, the practice of negative visualization reminds you that discomfort is a natural part of life. By imagining worst-case scenarios, you desensitize yourself to fear and frustration, building mental toughness. Daily reflection, journaling, and negative visualization form a triad that strengthens your emotional armor. At the heart of Stoic emotional discipline lies the concept of the dichotomy of control, the clear distinction between what you can control and what you cannot. You cannot control other people's words, actions, or intentions. You cannot control unexpected events or the opinions of others. But what you can control is your own judgment, choice, and response. Epictetus said, some things are up to us, and some are not up to us. Recognizing this difference is the foundation for stopping others from controlling your mood. The moment you realize that your emotional response is a choice, you reclaim your power. You become the master of your feelings, not the victim of circumstances. This means practicing emotional detachment without apathy. Detachment means observing your emotions without being overwhelmed by them. It's like watching waves on the ocean, acknowledging their presence without being swept away. When someone insults you, your first instinct may be to react defensively, but the Stoic pause invites you to ask, is this within my control? If not, then why give it power? You might not control others' hostility, but you control whether you let it penetrate your mind. You can choose to respond with dignity or not at all. By internalizing the dichotomy of control, you create a mental fortress that no external force can breach. This mindset transforms emotional chaos into calm resolve. One of the biggest challenges in stopping others from controlling your mood is overcoming the automatic, impulsive reactions deeply wired into our brains. Stoicism teaches us that mindful awareness is the tool to interrupt this emotional hijacking. When someone says something offensive or hurtful, your brain's immediate response might be anger or defensiveness, an automatic survival mechanism. But with mindful awareness, you train yourself to recognize this reaction as it arises before it escalates. This means cultivating a habit of pausing and observing your thoughts and feelings as if you were an impartial witness. Instead of being swept away by anger, you notice the sensation, label it, and let it pass. Meditation and breath control are powerful practices that enhance this awareness. Even just a few minutes each morning can build the mental muscles needed to catch emotional responses early. Stoics call this ability prohairesis, the capacity to choose your response. With practice, you develop the power to step back from the initial surge of emotion and decide how to act intentionally. This pause is where freedom lives. You break the chain reaction of emotional control others try to impose on you. You decide your mood, your peace, and your reaction. Remember Epictetus's wisdom. Don't just say you have read the book. Show that you have learned from it by how you live. Another essential Stoic technique to prevent others from controlling your mood is embracing the impermanence of all things, including emotions. Stoics understood that emotions are fleeting and transient. Just as the sun rises and sets, so do feelings come and go. By internalizing this truth, you reduce your attachment to any particular emotional state. When someone insults you or betrays your trust, it's natural to feel hurt or angry. But if you cling to those feelings or let them define your day, you give others ongoing power over you. Instead, practice seeing emotions like passing clouds, temporary, shifting, and ultimately powerless to dictate your inner peace. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Don't let your mind be crushed by the weight of things that will soon be nothing." This perspective lessens emotional suffering by reminding you that even the worst insults or betrayals will fade with time. This does not mean suppressing your feelings or pretending they don't exist. It means acknowledging them, then choosing not to feed them with excessive attention or rumination. By embracing impermanence, you learn to let go faster. You refuse to carry the burden of other people's negativity. This detachment is not coldness, but liberation. It's a liberation from the emotional chains that bind you to others' moods. One of the most misunderstood aspects of Stoicism is its relationship with compassion. Many think Stoicism promotes cold detachment, but true Stoic strength includes deep compassion for others and for yourself. When someone hurts you or tries to control your mood, your first instinct might be to fight back with anger. But the Stoic approach is to recognize that those who hurt often act out of their own pain, ignorance, or weakness. Compassion doesn't mean weakness or passivity. It means understanding the source of another's actions without letting those actions dictate your emotional state. Marcus Aurelius said, "Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize?" By cultivating compassion, you neutralize the power of hurtful words. You see them as reflections of the other person's inner struggles, rather than as direct attacks on you. At the same time, compassion for yourself is vital. Don't berate yourself for feeling upset or angry. Accept your emotions as natural, but don't let them become rulers over your mind. This balanced compassion builds emotional resilience. It allows you to maintain inner peace while still engaging empathetically with the world. You become like a sturdy tree, rooted and calm in the storm, yet alive and connected to everything around you. The greatest shield against letting others control your mood is a strong, clear, personal code rooted in Stoic principles. This code acts like an inner fortress that guards your emotional state from external invasion. Ask yourself, what do I stand for? What values define me? Justice, courage, wisdom, self-discipline. When you ground yourself in these principles, you become unshakable. Other people's opinions or actions may ripple around you, but your core remains firm. Seneca wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." Your personal code helps you enjoy each moment without being swayed by criticism, envy, or betrayal. It's essential to review your code daily, whether through journaling, meditation, or affirmations, to keep it fresh and alive. This continuous reinforcement makes your mind like a fortress where only your chosen values enter. Everything else bounces off. Your emotional state becomes a reflection of your principles, not the chaos outside. The ultimate weapon against letting others control your mood is radical ownership. You must own every thought, every feeling, every reaction. No excuses, no blaming external forces. This means embracing the unshakable truth that your mind is your kingdom, and you alone are its ruler. Others may provoke, but only you decide your response. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Radical ownership is not a burden. It is the greatest freedom. It liberates you from victimhood and places you firmly in the driver's seat of your life. It fuels unstoppable confidence, inner peace, and resilience. When you claim full responsibility for your mood, you reclaim your power. No one can steal your calm unless you give it away. No one can shatter your peace unless you break it yourself. This is your declaration. I am the master of my mind. I am the captain of my soul. Stand firm in this truth. Let it fire your spirit. Your journey to stop letting people control your mood is the beginning of a lifelong transformation, a path walked by the greatest minds in history. The Stoics didn't seek perfection, they sought progress. Daily practice made them unbreakable, calm, and powerful amid life's storms. Your daily choice to respond with strength, to pause, to let go, to act with compassion, and to hold firm to your principles, this builds a fortress no one can breach. This path is not easy. It demands discipline, courage, and relentless commitment, but the reward is priceless. A life of unshakable inner peace, radiant confidence, and true freedom. Imagine waking each day knowing no one can dictate your mood, no insult can derail your calm, no hardship can shake your foundation. That is the Stoic legacy you inherit. That is the power you cultivate. So rise now stronger, wiser, unbreakable. The world will test you, but you will stand unshaken. This is your moment. Own it. Live it. Become the Stoic warrior of your own mind.